Coach's Corner with Ron McLean and Don Cherry. Brought to you by Moore's Clothing for Men. Well made, well priced, well dressed.
On this segment of Coach's Corner, we'd like to try something a little different. We are going to...
Oh boy, am I excited about this segment there, Ronnie. Let me tell you, buddy.
Yes, we're both very excited to discuss Kenneth Waltz's theory of international politics. So let's get started, as time is of the essence.
Kiddos, one thing I want you here to understand. One thing. Induction versus deduction. First, it's pretty easy, kids. Induction goes from the specific to the general. Deduction goes from the general to the specific.
Well, no, Don, come on. Let's explain it a little bit for our viewers, a little more than that.
Oh, jeez there, Ronnie boy. Here, you're never understanding nothing. Okay, so induction goes from observation to pattern to tentative hypothesis to theory. You get it, Ronnie, there? You get it? Okay. And then deduction goes from theory to hypothesis to observation to confirmation. See? Told you. Simple.
Yes, exactly, Don. So in the works of Waltz, he highlights that a theory does not come simply through induction. I love this quote of his. Reality emerges from our selection and organization of materials that are available in an infinite quantity. Isn't that beautiful?
Oh, what a thing of beauty there, Ronnie. That guy Waltz, a true beauty, one of the best coaches of all time. And he gets it, you know where he gets it from, eh? You know where he gets it from? Now, saying that theorizing is the practice of selecting and organizing materials that are available in the millions, an infinite amount really, and organizing them in a way that people would understand thereon. Reminds me of a great hockey team. You got tons of talent, but you got to have a good coach out there to organize that talent in a way that lets you win the championship.
I think what you're trying to say there, Don, is without the structure of theory, we would be lost in the infinite number of information given to us by reality without the tool to interpret and understand. Like having to finish a puzzle with an infinite number of pieces, but no idea what the final picture would be like.
That's what I said. And you know what I call that? Inductivist illusion. God, I hate it. Essentially, guys say all you need is data and empirical evidence to understand something, but boy does my boy Waltz understand, and he proves them wrong, let me tell you. What a beauty. He says, if we could directly apprehend the world that interests us, we would have no need for theory. What a beautiful quote, and that's that. We need theory.
But induction isn't useless.
Oh, come on now, Ronnie, you're boring the kids. Let's put it to rest.
No, this is important. What I think you're trying to say is that it isn't sufficient for constructing a theory. If there were the case then theories would be discovered. But they aren't, are they? They're born through an intellectual creativity and deep study. They need to be invented.
Yeah. And remember, you need to have that eureka moment. Eureka?
Yeah, eureka, yes.
Eureka moment. When that beauty making the theory or theoretical notion constructs a model that is capable of explaining a number of events and relationships between those events in a simple and relatively easy way to understand. It reminds me of them D parents with good old Bobby Orr, Norris Trophy winning defenseman on whose team? My team. Couldn't find a D partner, and then bam, eureka, Stanley Cups.
Let's keep on track here. So the takeaway here is theory explains. It has to seek to understand why and how, not just what, where, and when. In order to construct a theory, a theorist must use both inductive and deductive methods.
All right, Ron, we're boring the people. Enough with this nonsense. Let's get on to my favorite stuff. What's my favorite stuff?
The laws.
Laws, exactly.
Welcome back.
Can I talk about laws now?
We are a bit short on time. I'll just check. Yeah, go ahead, Don.
Okay, thank you there, Ronnie. So, kids, real simple. Let me tell you this. Listen at home. Laws establish relationships between variables. They don't explain relationships between variables. Laws are simple facts, born of observation, pure and simple. What laws don't do and what theories do is explain relationships between variables. That's what you need a theory for.
Right, so essentially they result in if-then statements. If X happens, then Y happens.
Isn't that what I said?
Yeah, sorry. I was just trying to paint a clear picture. And I think the camera crew has a quote up here. Yeah, here it is.
What a thing of beauty, I tell ya.
Yes, quite the quote. Did you want to talk about assumptions?
Assumptions?
Yeah, assumptions.
Oh, assumptions, yes. Oh, let me tell you, and this is important. All theories make assumptions because those assumptions improve the explanatory power of the theory. And kids, these assumptions are non-factual statements. And they're only introduced when they improve the usefulness, the explanatory power of the theory.
Good point. An example of that could be drawn from realism, where states are purposeful actors motivated by national interest. This obviously isn't wholly true and is not meant to be. The aforementioned assumption is only introduced to the theory because it provides explanatory power for understanding the behavior of states.
Alright, Ron, again, you're boring the kids. Enough of this fancy schmancy talk. Let's get to the good stuff. Let's get to how we judge these theories.
Yeah, Don. We'll talk about how we judge laws after the break. Welcome back, and we were just talking about how we judge theories. And there's a big difference between judging theories and laws. Isn't there?
Yeah, Ronnie, there is. Laws are judged on whether they are true or not. Theories are not judged like that.
Yes, exactly. And theories cannot be disproven through empirical analysis. They are judged through explanatory power.
So Ronnie, what you're saying is if a schmuck like you can understand them, they're alright?
Yes, sort of. If a theory explains a multitude of phenomena in a simple manner, it is deemed successful. So, a theory can only be replaced by another theory if the new theory explains more phenomena than the existing one, or if it explains the same number of phenomena in a more simple and concise manner.
Well, Ronnie, let me get this straight here for the kids at home because, you're not exactly the best talker. You're not very smart. We're sorry about that, kids. So, if you infer a hypothesis from a theory, and that hypothesis can be tested on whether or not it's true, and the result of that testing of the hypothesis, if that result supports your theory, then Ronnie, I think we have a pretty good theory.
Yeah, but just before we forget here, we also need to clearly define variables so everyone can be clear on what exactly you're talking about.
Oh, I got a good example of this, Ronnie. So, when I call one of them boys, one of them good hockey boys, one of them players, when they're someone from the GTA and they can throw a few punches and take a hit?
Yeah, I was more referencing when IR theorists use the word instability. It can mean many things, for example, war, to conflict, to lack of government, etc.
But let's turn it to the boys in blue. Here, the boys in blue, the good Toronto Maple Leafs. This season, and trust me on this one, everyone wants to say I'm wrong. They always want to say I'm wrong, but I always prove them wrong.
Actually, we're going to have to cut it short here, Don, and I hope our viewers enjoyed our breakdown of Kenneth Waltz's theory of international politics.
Alright, before we go here, my message to the kids, keep your head up on the ice, keep your head down in the books.